Alors que le nouveau président indonésien commence son mandat, il prend la décision de donner des pouvoirs substantiels aux régions.
Unfortunately, decentralization made the work of the Ministry of Forestry and the Ministry of Environment and our own work a lot harder.
Saya sudah bilang tadi ya, korupsi itu ada di mana-mana, nepotisme, kolusi gitu ya, pelanggaran hukum dibiarkan, sehingga otonomi daerah ini alih-alih bisa menjadi perbaikan, tapi yang terjadi adalah semakin merebaknya KKN ini, praktek KKN ini bahkan sampai di level yang paling rendah gitu, sehingga kita tadinya punya raja-raja koruptor cuma ada di Jakarta, tapi sekarang hampir di setiap provinsi, kabupaten ada.
CITES est un traité international signé par la plupart des gouvernements de la planète. Son but est de prévenir l'extinction des espèces animales et végétales menacées par le commerce.
Karena itu salah satu alat kita untuk melindungi, salah satu konservasi jenis-jenis yang sudah mulai punah. Karena itu diakui secara internasional dan diverifikasi. Ada forumnya di internasional ya, itu. Dan kita juga harus memberikan laporan. Jadi bagus.
Les ONG ont un rendez-vous pour rencontrer le nouveau ministre de la Forêt.
He was running late, and suddenly he came out of his office, realized we were there, and he basically said, "Walk with me, Faith. Walk and talk. Tell me, what is it? What do you need?" By the time we got into the lift and downstairs, his car was waiting, and I hadn't quite got to my point. And so we jumped in the car. My colleague was in the front. I wanted a commitment from him that he would unilaterally list ramming on CITES Appendix 3. And I explained to him, by doing this, there would be some oversight, there'd be some regulation, there'd be something there that would exist to be able to try and control this hemorrhaging of this valuable timber from the park. And he agreed. I realized then I needed more than just his word. I rummaged around in my handbag and I found this napkin and a ballpoint pen, and I got it out and I got him to sign to that commitment. I was thrilled. We got to his appointment. I got out of the car and that was it. It was job done.
Le gouvernement annonce un moratorium sur la coupe de bois de ramin. Et quelques mois plus tard, conformément à l'accord du ministère, le gouvernement indonésien liste le bois de ramin sur l'annexe 3 de CITES. Le gouvernement malaisien réplique en soumettant des réserves. Une réserve est un mécanisme de CITES autorisant un État membre à ne pas donner suite à tout ou partie de la liste de l'annexe 3. Le ramin est un arbre qui pousse sur les forêts marécageuses costales de Bornéo, Sumatra et la péninsule de Malaisie. Depuis les années 60, l'industrie du bois de construction malaisien est basée sur la coupe et la transformation du bois de ramin, un bois dur et blond. Le ravitaillement annuel en ramin depuis la Malaisie a chuté d'environ 80% dans les 10 dernières années. Malgré cela, les exports en bois de ramin depuis la Malaisie, aussi bien le bois coupé que les produits dérivés, a augmenté significativement dans les 2 dernières années.
Of course, they suddenly had a good supply of cheap, illegal timber coming across from neighbouring Indonesia. By 2001, we were very keen to follow the trail, the ramen trail, you might call it, for the ramen that's been illegally logged in Indonesia. We knew a lot of that was being smuggled into neighbouring Malaysia. Malaysia had a very big timber industry, and ramen was a key species in that. So we decided to start looking at the supply chain and the smuggling routes that ramen was taking to get from Indonesia to Malaysia.
Après 18 mois d'enquête et des mois pour rassembler les informations, l'EIA et Telapak publient un rapport approfondi.
On just one day, EIA and Telapak investigators witnessed more than 30 Indonesian vessels carrying illegal logs arriving in the port of Muar in Malaysia. The boats were seen passing a police post and stopping at a customs jetty. once again showing official complicity. In Batu Pahat, EIA and Telapak investigators found ramen logs which had recently been imported from Sumatra in Indonesia. Such trade is illegal under the CITES listing and illustrates that Malaysia continues to flout its international obligations.
The scale was just mind-blowing in a way, and it was all being done in the open. There was no attempt to be clandestine, which shows that the Malaysian authorities weren't willing to act on this because their businesses were profiting from the destruction of neighbouring Indonesia's forests.
Given the fact that CITES had just listed Indonesian ramen on CITES Appendix 3, we were actually completely shocked at the fact that nothing had changed.
But also in terms of economics, this sudden glut of ramen that was being smuggled via Malaysia was depressing the price on the international market because of simple oversupply.
En partie, grâce au travail de l'EIA, de Telapak et d'autres ONG, certains gouvernements autour du monde ont commencé à se rendre compte de la sérieuse explosion des activités illégales sur le bois et de la destruction des forêts de la planète.
At the time, the World Bank were organising a whole series of, rather staid technocratic meetings on forest law enforcement. And I thought, this is an opportunity, to really, if we could jump on these, get hold of the agenda, we could change these into real game-changing dialogues and discussions with the real actors. Together with the Americans, I have to say, we managed to add the word governance, forest law enforcement governance, to the title.
La conférence ministérielle de l'Asie de l'Est au sujet de l'application et la gouvernance de la loi forestière s'ouvre à Bali. Hébergée par le gouvernement indonésien et la Banque mondiale, et en partie financée par la DFID et USAID, la conférence voit 150 délégués de 20 pays affluer à Denpasar. Ils représentent des ONG, des gouvernements, des agences de l'ONU et le secteur privé. C'est le théâtre parfait pour un changement profond.
And we managed to get high-level segment where consumer countries like the UK and the US and Europe would send high-level representation because we reckon we were part of the problem, as well as top-level government officials from Indonesia, from China, and to have a large participation of civil society organizations.
Les délégués sont réunis pour quelques jours de discussions et de débats sur le futur des forêts survivantes de l'Asie du Sud-Est.
So at the end of the first day, we were all hanging out and swimming. Some people were having drinks at the bar, and there were televisions around the place, and we suddenly realized that there was something extraordinary happening.
And suddenly on the TV screens, we witnessed what people all over the world were witnessing, which was the Twin Towers coming down. It was 9/11, and we were shocked, absolutely shocked.
Quasi immédiatement, la police indonésienne arrive. Ils encerclent et verrouillent l'hôtel où se déroule la conférence afin de protéger les délégués à l'intérieur.
And so at that moment it was decided that the high-level segment would be pulled forward, we would shorten the conference, but that no one would abandon the conference. Indeed, none of us were able to leave the hotel anyway for the next 24 hours, and so the conference carried on.
Dans l'état d'esprit d'une unité globale, tous sauf un des pays participants, la Chine incluse, ont signé une déclaration d'engagement et d'intention sur l'application de la loi sur les forêts et leur gouvernance. Cela s'appelle désormais FLEG. La Malaisie refuse de signer.
So the conference went way beyond trees. It was to actually address the core issues of corruption, land rights, tenure. It was looking at illegal trade, illegal logging, but it went way beyond the trees. And that was really significant. By having these issues out in the open, we are actually getting governments to acknowledge that there was a problem in the first place.
2 mois après, le gouvernement indonésien fait passer une interdiction de l'export de rondins. À partir de ce moment, seulement le bois scié ou transformée peut être exportée du pays.
This was definitely good news, but as with all these things, would it be enforced would be the question. The big problem and the big loophole in all of this was that although this ban was for exports from Indonesia, it was still legal for Malaysia to import the logs.
Can I welcome everybody to this signing ceremony?
La Grande-Bretagne et la Malaisie signent le protocole d'accord qu'ils ont négocié pendant plus de 2 ans. La raison d'être du protocole d'accord est de cesser ou abréger toute implication de la Grande-Bretagne avec la destruction des forêts survivantes d'Indonésie.
The MOU was a great idea. And what it was the UK saying, look, Indonesia, you don't have to do this on your own. You know, the UK was part of the problem as well. And that MOU basically provided a way forward to look at this issue from both ends.
Cependant, le protocole d'accord comprend aussi des aspects commerciaux.
And this puts the European Union's nose out of joint. Trade was a European Union issue and responsibility, not a member state responsibility at that time. However, it obliged them to engage and to look at what they would do to control the illegal timber coming into their bigger area from tropical forests across the world, including Indonesia.
Embarrassé par des enquêtes vidéo plus poussées de l'EIA, Telapak et d'autres, le gouvernement fédéral malaisien promulgue l'interdiction de l'importation des rondins de bois depuis l'Indonésie.
Dan ini sebetulnya merupakan cikal bakal atau salah satu contoh di mana negara konsumen dan negara produsen bekerja bersama gitu loh, mempunyai legislasi yang saling melengkapi untuk mengatasi illegal logging dan perdagangan kayu ilegal antar negara atau cross border.
But the Malaysian decision did not apply to the province of Sarawak in Malaysia, which is on Borneo. And so the land route for smuggling of logs across from Kalimantan, which is Indonesian Borneo, across into Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo, remained open.